I've just spent weeks testing the 5 most premium earbuds on the market. The Bose QuietComfort Ultra, the Sony WF-1000XM6, the Samsung Galaxy Buds 4 Pro, the Technics EAH-AZ100, and the Apple AirPods Pro 3. They're all between $200 to $300 or so. They're all excellent, and they're all different. By the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you my favorite, and hopefully you'll be able to make the decision that's right for you. Let's start with sound quality, because if you're buying earbuds in this price range, sound quality when listening to music is likely important to you. Now, I'm not going to share with you like charts and graphs and talk about decibels. There's other places you can find that information. This is all based on my opinion. That said, I've been a musician my entire life, and I've been working with audio for just as long. And I've spent so many hours listening to every single one of these pairs of earbuds, going back and forth so much it made my head spin. Also, 2 quick notes. Number 1, I tested these both with active noise cancellation turned on and off, but I listened to them mostly with the ANC turned on. Why? Well, because I think they sound better, the sound seems fuller, there's more bass, and I feel like most people listen to them with ANC on anyway. Number 2, all 5 of these sound excellent. I really enjoyed listening to all of these, and I think it really just comes down to personal preference. That said, let's start with the Bose. If I had to describe the Bose in one word, it would be bass. Years ago, I would only buy Bose earbuds back when they had the wire that connected to 2 buds, and that's because they were the only ones that delivered the bass that my ears craved so much. If you're an audiophile and you really like that well-rounded, perfectly balanced sound, you may want to skip this because it is bass heavy. But I personally enjoy it. I don't think it really takes away from the rest of the sound. You still hear the highs and the mids, and really the sound is excellent. I love these. Moving on to the Sony. When I popped these in and pressed play, I was like, wow, they are so well balanced. Maybe even the most out of all of these. You hear everything. The bass is thumping, the highs, the mids, everything is clear, nothing's missing. Just such an amazing balanced sound. They're actually this close to being my top pick. They're so good. And that brings us to the Samsung Galaxy Buds. I f***ing love these. I got these the very first day they came out. I popped them in and put a song on that I've been listening to for about 3 years, and I heard new details that I never noticed before. It blew me away. I was literally emotional. I went back and forth so many times between the Samsung and the Sony, and I couldn't figure out why every time I picked the Samsung. Now, these do have a 2-way dual driver, so a dedicated woofer handling the bass and a tweeter for the highs. Maybe that's the reason? All I know is every time I put these in my ears, it just hits me the right way. The highs, the lows, all the little background sounds, and everything just, I don't know what it is, but these make me emotional. I love them, and they're my favorite of these 5. Then we have the Technics. I want to be as fair as possible here. I know that the Technics have a huge audiophile following. They use advanced engineering like a magnetic fluid driver. It's designed to eliminate distortion and reproduce sound with almost perfect accuracy. And yeah, when I listen to it, that makes sense. Everything is so clear and crisp and balanced. But for some reason, I'm not into them. Nothing jumps out, nothing hits me. Again, it's hard to put into words. I feel like I may even get slammed in the comments for this one, but they don't do anything for me. I don't know what it is, they just don't. They sound excellent, I don't know. I don't want them. Then of course there's the AirPods Pro. I assume they're probably the most popular. And you know what? These sound pretty good. I think they sound good enough for most people, especially because people are buying AirPods because they have iPhones and may even be invested in the entire Apple ecosystem. But right now we're talking about sound, and I think for most people they sound great. And they do have some pretty nice bass, especially when ANC is turned on. But what about the treble? I feel like every time I put AirPods in, all I hear is cymbals. I know Apple always focuses on clarity, and they're pretty clear, but I do think they are behind these others. So again, really good sound. I do feel like they lag behind these other 4, but they're still excellent, and if you're really into Apple and you want to justify it that way, then go with them. They're good enough. Winner? Samsung. If you're enjoying this video so far, please subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's talk about noise cancellation. I've tested these out in real-world scenarios, but I also just tested all 5 of them in my kitchen with the exhaust fan on. And let's start with the Bose, and I'll say their reputation precedes them. Right out of the box, absolutely phenomenal. I popped them in and everything nearly disappeared. Then there's the Sony, which gave me unexpected results. They didn't even seem to be in the same ballpark as the Bose. But then I tried changing the ear tips and they actually worked a lot better. The problem is those ear tips weren't really comfortable. I preferred the ones I was wearing before. So I could adjust them, press them in a little bit. I can hear them cancel the noise very well, not that far off from the Bose. So the technology's there, but it doesn't work with my preferred ear tips. Now the Samsung was great, but also really interesting. I popped them in and the noise slowly dimmed down to almost nothing. But it also seemed like it took the existing noise and sent me back sort of a processed version of it, like a faint layer of white noise in the background. And I don't know exactly what was happening there, but it works very well. I was very impressed. Then there's the Technics again. I don't know why these things keep letting me down, but I just couldn't get the same level of noise cancellation as I could with the others. I thought maybe it was a loose seal, anyone? But these literally come with 5 sets of ear tips, and I just couldn't get them to work the way I thought they would. And last but not least, Apple, they just worked. The AirPods have excellent noise cancellation. Winner? Bose. Now let's talk about comfort and fit, because the best sounding earbuds in the world don't really matter if you can't wear them for more than 30 minutes at a time. The Bose fit in your ears really nice and snug, great for bass and noise cancellation, and overall they're pretty comfortable, but after you use them for quite a while, they do start to get a little bit annoying. There's something about how aggressively they seal your ear. It starts to feel too much after a while. Sony is similar. They're fairly comfortable, but I feel like the more you wear them, the more you feel them. And then there's the tip situation we talked about earlier. The tips they come with out of the box were fairly comfortable, but the ones I replaced them with to get a better seal weren't. Then there's the Samsung. These are the most comfortable earbuds I've ever owned. They're so ergonomic, they pop right in your ear, they feel so comfortable, and I'll literally wear these all day. They still create an effective seal, but they're just so comfortable. The Technics come with 5 sets of ear tips, which is really cool. So it's pretty easy to find the perfect fit. I feel like they're more comfortable than the Bose and the Sony, but not quite as comfortable as the Samsung or the AirPods. But overall, pretty good. And then there's the AirPods. I feel like most people have worn AirPods, and they're actually very close to the Samsung. I've worn AirPods literally all day for many days, and they're great. So the AirPods and the Galaxy Buds are really similar, but the Galaxy Buds are a little more comfortable. Winner? Galaxy Buds. Next, we're gonna talk about mic and call quality. Now, first of all 5 of these are gonna be just fine on a phone call. I've made some calls, nobody on the other end complained. I've actually done this test on several different devices, and I don't wanna nitpick every single one, but I will say my voice sounded best on the Bose. In fact, I'm gonna play the 5 short clips for you right now. Now I'm testing the Bose QuietComfort for voice calls. Now I'm testing out the Sony earbuds. This is the microphone test for the Samsung Galaxy Buds. Now I'm recording with the Technics for voice calls. Now I'm testing the AirPods Pro for voice calls. Now I've already nitpicked this a lot and I don't want to over-explain it. Winner? Bose. Let's talk about cases right now because that's important. Let's start with the Bose. This case is big and bulky. They're kind of annoying to pull them out of the case, and they're kind of annoying to put them back in the case. And I'm telling you, that's the case. It has wireless charging, but it charges upside down, and that's where the indicator light is. And I guess it is relatively thin, and it has rounded corners. But yeah, I don't like this case at all. Then there's the Sony. This has kind of sharp edges. Not like they're gonna cut you, but I prefer rounded. It doesn't feel as smooth though, which is nice, because it won't slip out of your hand like some cases. And it is pretty compact. And also taking the buds out, putting them back in, it's pretty easy. Also has wireless charging, and it stands up in a nice position, so it's okay. Galaxy Buds. How can you not love this case? It's transparent on the top. You can see the buds in there. Such an attractive case. It's small, it's lightweight. You can forget it's in your pocket. Buds come out so easy and they go back in so easy. Wireless charging works great. I can't really think of a negative except that sometimes at night or in the dark I'm trying to figure out which way it opens because it's perfectly square, but that's a stupid thing to nitpick about. Technics, now this is actually small, compact, thin, light, rounded corners, slips right in your pocket. This is actually a great case too. It's a little more annoying to take the buds out. Sticking it back in is okay. Wireless charging, pretty good case. I like this one. And then there's the AirPods. This could be my favorite one. It's so small and so thin and so rounded. It slips right in your pocket. You forget it's there. Wireless charging. This is literally almost the perfect case except that Apple insists on making it slippery like a bar of soap. It's literally a bar of soap. Do you know how many AirPods are lost in the New York City subway tracks every year? It's disgusting. However, there's plenty of good cases to go on top of this case and give you grips. Great case, way too slippery. Winner? Galaxy Buds. Now for battery life, I'm gonna let these charts do most of the talking. Technics wins in this category, and it's not even close. 10 hours per charge with ANC on and 28 hours total with the case. That's nearly double what Bose gives you per charge, and the best battery life of any pair here. Apple and Sony are consistent, 8 hours per charge, 24 hours total. Solid, predictable, no surprises. The interesting one are the Galaxy Buds. Only 6 hours per charge, which is tied with the Bose for last place. But when you include the case, it brings it to 26 hours, which would be second best overall. So the Galaxy Buds are great if you're somebody who's always putting the buds back into the case, like me. If you want the absolute best, stick with the Technics, or of course the Apple and the Sony are pretty solid. Bose is the loser here. Winner, Technics. Next up, app controls and ecosystem. Let's keep this section simple because there's just too many similarities between them all. They all have touch controls, they all have multi-point, they all have EQs, so what matters is the ecosystem. Obviously, Samsung and Apple make their earbuds for their devices. There isn't really even an app. You just go into the settings in your respective phones and they're right there. There is a Samsung app for other Android devices, but you're gonna lose a lot of features. Live translate, head gesture controls, 360-degree audio recording. You can even say things like play music without even invoking a digital assistant and it works, but only on Samsung devices. The AirPods have really cool features like a built-in heart rate monitor. It has a hearing test. It can act as a hearing aid. It has health tools, but again, they only work if you have an iPhone. But yeah, if you're on Android, you cannot get AirPods. You're not gonna be able to control any of the features. If you're on an iPhone, there's no point in getting the Samsung Galaxy Buds either, because there's no app for that. Surprisingly, Sony had the best cross-platform app in my opinion. That surprised me because all other Sony apps seem to be garbage, like the one for my camera that's recording me right now. The Technics app is fine, nothing exciting, but it works, it gets the job done. And the Bose app seemed okay, but it literally would not stay connected to my device long enough for me to tell. Yeah, I could not keep these buds connected to my device. They just kept disconnecting, connecting, disconnecting, connecting, until I wanted to throw them out the window. Now I did have better success when hooking it up to my iPad, so Bose works better with Apple, and the app's okay on iOS, I just found it a little bit buggy. Winner? I guess Sony? So let's recap. Best sound overall in my opinion, Samsung Galaxy Buds. Best noise cancellation, Bose. Best comfort, Galaxy Buds. Best case, Galaxy Buds. Best battery, Technics. Best mic, Bose. Now if you have a Samsung Galaxy device, it's a no-brainer. Go with the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro 4. You will not be disappointed. If you have an iPhone, it's hard not to go with the AirPods Pro 3 because even though they're not the best sounding, they come close in literally every category and they may be worth it for all the features you get as an iPhone user. And the best platform agnostic, I would say Sony. Great sound, great app, comfortable enough. And although with the Bose, I absolutely love the sound, love the noise cancellation, and love the microphone, I literally hate everything else about it, and I could not keep it connected to my Samsung Galaxy device. The Technics are technically excellent, nothing wrong with them, they just don't excite me. Maybe the audiophile pick for those who value accuracy above everything else, just not for me. I hope that helps. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks so much for watching.